We say goodbye to the best friend of the pod. We watch The Faculty with Sam Smalley on this week's episode of...
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
Been rolling.
All right.
Talking to it.
Talking.
There we go.
There we go. Welcome.
We finally did it.
Live from the blast hole.
Yeah, please.
Looking at my beautiful map to the ocean.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who listened to last week's episode who
Thanks-
rejoined us.
Thanks to all the new listeners.
yeah.
All that drill-based fans.
Yeah.
Thanks for
well-
sharing us all your favorite drill bits and techniques.
Yeah, obviously we no longer record in Rose's apartment.
Let's read some of the 5-star reviews we got out last week.
Here we got a
Okay,
4-star review from Drill Lover 28. Not enough drill talk, but loved the increase.
Dear, oh dear.
These guys are talking bits and drill bits. That's from Black and Decker 72.
Well, I'm just going to click on his profile. Oh, it's mostly about cucking. Okay, okay sorry. Oh, man. Well, how's the last 10 minutes been for you guys?
Yeah, sick,
I
man.
mean, there's been a lot of reminiscing
It's-
about last week's episode.
Mostly just self-congratulating ourselves
Yeah.
for finally figuring out how to be funny on the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So good. Took us 98 episodes, so we finally fucking did it. I am counting the ones we didn't release.
I wonder what episode we're on.
I don't know.
This would be about...
This would be in the 90s,
This
I
is...
think.
No, it's like... Oh, yeah, maybe this is 90.
Maybe.
I don't know.
90. That's the year I was born.
Same.
Oh, man. Sam,
There
we're
you go.
two peas in a goddamn pod, you and I. So tell us about this Thailand trip.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about sex work, and Sam, we were talking about who has or would pay for sex work.
Yeah, I'm firmly in the
So-
wood category.
I am firmly
I
in
was
the
gonna
The
say-
least helpful category.
gonna
I'm
say-
firmly in the have category.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, well, let's guess Andrew Hastings.
Well, we were
It is
talking
weird
about
that
it
you
last
haven't.
night.
I just can't afford it.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about it last night.
I told Rosie I was bored, and she was like, "You should just get a sex worker."
Yeah.
What kind of money do
Why
you have
not?
to be throwing around to just
Yeah.
casually be getting sex workers? That's something I got to save up for if I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe for my 30th.
When's your 30th?
September next year.
Oh my god, are you a Libra?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, my
Yeah.
birthday's in September.
You can tell by
Sorry.
the order and structure that I have in my life that I'm definitely a classic Virgo.
Yeah, okay.
What's your birthday, Sam?
I'm 28th of September.
28th September. Damn, that's 4 days after my ex-girlfriend's birthday. What are you doing after this? What are you doing?
Oh, God. I'm going to try and
No,
pivot
she's
back
great.
to gross.
I'm glad. You know, my ex is dating a cop.
That's not cool, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's cool, man. She hassles me when I make fun
My
of her
dad's a
about that.
cop.
Oh, I don't
that's
think that's
true,
cool,
actually.
man. All cops are dads.
But are all...
Yeah, all dads
Dad's
are cops
bastards.
too. Yeah. You know, I'm a bastard.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
That's pretty cool, right? It'd be cool that there's like a time where I wouldn't have been allowed to vote or own property. That's kind of exciting. Makes
Was
me
that
feel-
real?
Yeah, man. Bastards had no rights back in the fucking
Yeah,
day.
because it's like Game of Thrones
You're,
shit.
yeah, you're not a real person kind of to a lot of people. It's like you kind of just don't count.
Yeah, that's why it's all about that on the fantasy stuff.
Yeah. You
have to be legitimized as an heir.
That's one of
Right.
that's one of the couple things I like in my mind. I'm like, I could kind of argue that I'm a minority. Is one that I'm Irish, and I'm Irish, and I like Irish Catholic, and I'm a bastard.
This is what Hastings thinks about waiting for his potato jams to air fry after he's had his 75th con. What minority could I be to get pussy on Twitter? Ooh, the gems are ready.
There's no potato.
I'm gonna smash the gems into a patty, then
Yeah.
get another layer of gems.
That's
and then
his-
that's a triple decker fucking jam sandwich.
I call that
baby.
one the
That's
Black and Decker.
That's his form of Irish oppression these days. Is like the great potato gem famine of of 2019,
It's fucked.
which is really just that you'd forgotten to go to the shops.
It's I'm not great at cooking, but I'm pretty good at cooking, and I really like doing it. And I still reckon I make meals that are gem based 5 times a week, just because it's there
That
and
doesn't
it's
make
easy.
you a good cook if you can turn on the oven.
No. I make other stuff. Don't worry. I made a curry yesterday.
Do you have an air fryer?
Yeah, I do. It's great.
Is it sick?
It's so fucking sick. I threw out the deep fryer when I got the air
So
fryer.
what is the what does it change? That thing? Because it does something like if you make like fried chicken, the
Yep.
texture's slightly different. Right?
Yeah. So there's no oil, right? So it
Yeah.
uses the oil that's already in the food and fries it with that with like sort of air convection thing or some shit. But the idea is there's just way less oil because there's no it's like perfectly fried. Like it's like always perfectly fried, but without that like fucking oily shit.
Yeah.
Which like sometimes like if it was like chicken, maybe you'd be a little disappointed. But for like potato based stuff, which is normally what I'm doing, it's perfect because you don't want those too greasy. Like
Yeah, see, the chicken thing is where it would fall out for me.
yeah.
But you can make like air fryer fried chicken.
Yeah, you might even if you
That's like usually on the box.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you put a little oil just on the
Photo of
chicken before
that.
you put it in, you'd probably it would probably help. But like you wouldn't need to, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine like you're a good cook, but you do gym-based stuff mostly because you eat your dinner at 2 a.m.
Yes,
after
absolutely.
your
Mm.
76 cone.
How many
when you
bottles
fi-
of tomato sauce do you go through a week?
But no, like because with the food I make, it's usually like meal prep, so it's usually for lunches and for like.
It's just your meal prep and you've taken a photo for Instagram. You're like, meal prep, #goals, and it's just 50 Tupperware containers full of air-fried potato chips. It's like with a little like sauce thing at the side in a different container.
I like
Would
that,
that-
like reasonably like wholesome food for when I like come home for taking to work and also like when I come home between work and going out to comedy and then I'm hitting the air fryers when I get back when I get back from comedy. It's like second dinner.
Yeah.
77th cone.
Dear. That's a good segue into because we should introduce our special guest early on. I
Yeah.
think
Very special guest this
because
week.
you're talking about meal prep.
Yeah.
This podcast is actually has been a live podcast from like the word go.
Absolutely.
Because often while we're recording, next to us in the kitchen is my housemate Sam, who is meal prepping, and poor Sam is leaving us soon.
I know.
And we've got her on the pod before she goes.
So sad, Sam.
So sad.
Really, truly the fourth pod host, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there the whole way along. So brutal. Just come over. Just come over and hang out while we record. We'd love that. Yeah.
So let's talk about
Yeah,
this.
make a trip back to Australia. Just
For pods on Sundays.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, man.
You could sort
where are
something
you,
out
Where
with
are
your
you
job.
moving to, Sam? What's going on? What's happening in your life?
What's happening in my life?
Yeah. You going back to New Zealand or some
Going
shit?
back to New Zealand.
Man, that sucks.
And then I'm moving to Amsterdam.
Damn. What's going on in Amsterdam?
Well, funnily enough, I don't smoke cones, but
I
it would be
know.
a dream location.
Yes, I don't smoke cones, but I love mushrooms. I love
Amsterdam
them.
is like a funny place to move to for a
Yeah, why
teetotaler.
Amsterdam? You just love
I know.
canals?
Everyone's like, yeah, red light district. Yeah, smoking a lot of weed. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go be a sex worker and I'm not going to go just get blazed all the time.
Yeah. So what, like, do you just like, you like canals? You like Anne Frank's house? What do you like?
I don't
Riding
know,
a
I'm
bike
just
on the
vibing it.
cobblestone
Do you
streets.
think people can't live in Holland unless
No,
they
no,
do?
no.
Yeah, Jamie,
But like-
you should get tips. Jamie used
Yeah.
to live there.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true.
No, not that I think there was, but I'm saying, like, why would you go there? Like, I'm asking what the appeal is.
Why
I'm
would
saying-
I go there?
Well,
Jamie?
I don't know. I'm
Beautiful country.
I'm saying, I don't know the things I know about
But
Amsterdam.
that's like saying, like, yeah, why would you go to Sydney?
Look, of course.
Yeah.
But you could ask, what, do you love the beach? Like, I'm saying, I know 5 things about Amsterdam, and none of them are reasons to move there unless you love sex work or cones. So, like, what tell me about why Amsterdam?
It's just,
It just seems like a nice place.
it just seems like a nice place. I just get a really good vibe. Like I vibed Redfern. I lived in Redfern. I vibed
Redfern does have a
Amsterdam.
nice vibe.
I know.
Yeah, I like it.
It is, it's a beautiful country. You'd
Yeah.
love it. I mean, you'd love it for all the reasons that you think you'd love it.
I did love it. I loved it there. Do you know that ordering drugs off the
Hey,
menu
do you
is the
think
best
you could
feeling in the world?
you could ride a jet ski through those canals?
You absolutely could.
Absolutely, you could.
Sick.
Yeah, I want a little.
Sam, you got to go and start a jet ski canal business.
You can visit a lot of windmills. They're pretty boring.
And airboats.
cheese factories.
Oh yeah.
Airboats would be great in the canals.
Let's move to
I have
Amsterdam
never
with
seen
Sam.
them.
We'll start our airboat business.
Yeah. I went on a cocktail cruise on those canals when I was in Amsterdam, and I've never felt more ripped off in my life because they were like cocktail cruise. It's only it's like 40, 50 euro, whatever.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be great. You spend a couple hours drinking cocktails, right? And I think my dad was like, "That sounds sick," and it was just like. It was like only he.
Sorry, I know we've covered this before on the thing, but it is so funny that you and your dad went partying together in Europe for
insane.
a trip.
And so
we're just
telling
like,
as
yeah,
well.
we're
like-
just like, you're like, Dad, can I bring some friends? He's like, you don't fucking have any. Just fucking let's do this.
I brought a friend, and he was like, "Hope she can fucking party." Like,
oh god.
but yeah, no. The cocktails were essentially like a step above a vodka cruiser. Like it was the shittest fucking like, and I think I had like 3 over the course of 2
I mean, how do you
hours,
get a
like-
step above perfection?
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's like the thing with those, like the fucking like hostel bar crawls when you meet people and like you always think it'll sound good. Then you go to the shittiest bars, you have the tokens,
Yeah.
and they're terrible.
It's
the
rough.
drinks suck.
Yeah.
Just take me to the end so I have a chance of fingering someone.
Yeah, it's
Like
that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's all a
Yeah.
precursor to maybe fingering someone.
Yeah, like they should just like offer like that as the last stop.
man,
like
I saw-
original.
A coupon for one fingering.
I saw a street fingering the other day.
What?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've got one for after this too.
What's the pub that's it's across from Railway Square? It's on the corner on like George Street.
The Madison.
Yeah, the real with the
Across from
outdoor-
Railway Square?
Yeah, like
Oh no, that's not the Madison.
no, I think it is the Madison.
No, it wouldn't be.
It's like a shitty pub. It's like a shitty. It has like a beer garden and tables. It's near like the little food court at Rail across from Rail Square, like the Porto is.
yeah,
and
yeah.
There's like a pub up. You got the
Strawberry
stairs.
Hills Hotel?
No.
No, this is on the other
This is
side.
like, yeah. There's
The-
like Broadway. Like there's
The only ones I can think of are Bar Broadway.
No, it's the one before that.
It's well
the
before
Great
that.
Southern or
It's something like that. No, it's not the Great Southern. It's like this is like
Mountbatten?
It's like a very touristy pub. It's like a touristy bar. It's got like an outdoor area. It's like very cool. There's music playing, but it's like looks so lame and backpacker.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
it's like
Is it like
Sidebar?
next to a travel agent?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
isn't
don't
it
know the-
actually the Backpackers Bar? Like, isn't it?
Fuck, it might be like
I know what you mean.
it
It's
has
it,
distinctly backpacker.
it's
vibe.
next to that Ray-Ban footwear.
Yes,
Yeah, I don't
yes.
know the name of it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I'm walking past there, and there's all the. This was like Thursday night at 11 p.m. Like it was not 4 in the morning on a Saturday or whatever. Walking just up George Street, going home, like literally going home, and so it's on a corner, and there's like a beer garden thing. On the corner's not on George. Like the people are drinking
It's
isn't
just
George
before
Street.
the Ray-Ban footwear.
Yeah. So I'm there. I'm walking.
Which is a great place to go
But so-
to get your
I love how you're
how about a nice
explaining it
big
with
cup
your
of
hands.
shut
Did
the
you know
fuck
that
up
you-
t-shirt.
the geography is important. So, like, I'm walking in a straight line. 90 degrees around a corner from me is where all the people are drinking.
Yeah.
10 meters, but around the corner, so out of sight. But in terms of where I am, in a fucking fire escape whole thing, it's like not only can I see her vagina, I can see his fingers inside of her vagina. No, it's on George Street.
Wow,
It's
what
the-
position would they have to have been in for that?
They
Yeah.
were standing. They were.
Yeah.
She had her back against the wall, and he was.
But
leant
you could
up
see her.
against
From
it.
that. So I assume
But
you were.
she-
There was
crouch-
an angle.
So it sounds like you were crouching down with your phone camera out.
Yeah.
No.
No, he saw this later on his upskirting video that it keeps on his foot.
He wasn't doing the gentlemanly thing and obscuring her with his body. He was kind of on an angle.
I
so
mean, the
that-
He was trying to
gentlemanly
get to
thing
the
would obviously be
G-spot.
to go and finger her somewhere else.
Maybe at his parents' house where he lived.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
at least in the car.
But
you
what was
know,
crazy is they were 10 meters away from their friends. Like they would have been. That's what they were just around the
How
corner.
old are these people?
I couldn't see their faces, but like 20, 21,
Oh,
20.
that's fair.
They're probably
Yeah.
backpackers. They
I
look like
once,
backpackers.
I once down in
It was on
Kiama.
George Street. Just go around a different corner.
I once down in Kiama, middle of the day, saw a guy copping a heady on the beach.
Man, that's sick.
She just like like you see his like pants were open, her face. Like, I wish I could like. How could I describe this? It was like, you know,
blowjobs, right?
no, but
You know,
Like-
getting it sucked.
but like you know how like maybe if you're like joking to someone about like I'm dead or whatever, and then you just flop onto the ground, so
Yeah.
like. But like face down, like
Yeah.
that's what she was like. But she was just
On
like
his dick.
moving her head up and down on his dick, and we were probably like 13 or something like that. So we just immediately screamed "Headies" and then ran off.
That's not how I would have handled it.
And she was like, I've got a 15-minute lecture about polyamory.
At 13, I would have just watched.
Anyway, back to this Thailand story.
yeah.
Oh my lord, let's not put pressure on her, but what happened?
That's part of why we've got.
Give us the full details.
That's part of why we've got Sam on here. She's got some good
Spill the
stories.
tea.
Oh, I do have some great stories.
Mm.
Speed the tea land.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah.
So I went to Thailand.
Yeah.
I would have been like 20 and I was dating a really older guy.
Yeah.
How really older?
Like I was 20 and he was like 38.
Ooh.
Fuck me.
Your age difference was old enough for
To drink.
him to have sex with.
Yeah, age difference was old enough for him to finger a woman in Georgia.
Ideally, he probably would have preferred to have sex with the age difference.
He
Absolutely.
paid for the trip, so I was just like, sweet.
Sugar
yeah,
daddy.
And he took you to Southeast Asia. Interesting choice for him.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. A 38-year-old man dating heroin. What interest would he have in Thailand?
He's like, yeah, it's super cultural. You can ride scooters. Wing. You're like, why do do you keep saying wink and doing it so exaggerated? You should also probably take off your shirt that says child porn.
We can probably guess where the story goes from there. I don't think we need to fill in the rest of the details,
No,
right?
we can.
Yeah. I don't know.
You guys
Well, look,
had a threesome
I-
with the sex worker?
Well, yeah, but it was only because there was lots of ladyboys in Thailand.
Yeah, right.
And I was actually quite interested in seeing what one looked like.
Right.
So I was
Like
paying
naked.
for the service.
And now you
Well,
live with...
actually, I paid for a ladyboy and I paid for a...
Yeah, right. So you're like very experienced in...
So did
I
you get
didn't-
down with the
Wait,
lady
hold
boy?
on. I didn't have sex with the ladyboy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was just... She wanted to have sex with my boyfriend at the time.
Right.
But
And he also wanted to.
Oh yeah, for
Definitely.
sure.
Well, he was too busy on his laptop to hear any of this. Yeah, right. That's cool.
But yeah, we did.
That's sick.
There was a time.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
What's the... Rose, you might have some insight into this. What's the... Because, like, the term ladyboy seems to be fine, right? Like, is that all right?
Well,
I
I
think
was...
I think it's like a
Am I
kind of
wrong, Luke?
like because it's a cultural thing there,
Yeah.
and they call themselves
well, if they
that.
self-identify.
Yeah.
or whatever, like,
Yeah,
but
but
it-
like if someone called me a ladyboy, like that
Yeah, of
wouldn't be
course.
That's
cool.
bad.
I
Of
think,
course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my...
Like Hastings.
My
just
more
did.
important-
Like Hastings literally just did.
whatever.
For the bit, baby.
My follow-up question is like... Ladyboys in Thailand, are they considered trans women by the broader trans community or the broader queer community?
I would say so because I think
Are
they
they
are.
they're just trans women, right?
Yeah, they are.
Is there a solid? Are they the same thing just with a different name, or is it its own thing, or what's the? I'd love to know.
I mean, like, I'm about to ask a question that defeats the purpose of the question, but do you think... So I'm not going to ask Rose, but do you think trans people ever get tired of being the trans ambassador for every issue?
I'm so
Like, it's just like, as a trans person, what do you think the people of Thailand that you've never met... you've
a great point.
And, like, when you don't know the answer, we're like, oh, I guess you're not, as trans as you think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, whatever.
So you think
Shitty
you can
guy,
trans?
what do you
Yeah,
want?
yeah.
Oh wait, that was the name of
Yeah,
Cassie's segment.
thing.
Yeah.
But it is like all trans people must
Oh, of
be
course.
like, fuck, if some kind
Well, like any kind of minority, like as a black person, as a gay person,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
For sure,
yeah.
for sure.
As an
for sure.
Irish person who eats potato jams, I'm constantly getting asked if I can score a 50.
Yeah.
do you get asked a lot of New Zealand questions?
I get asked to say fish and chips a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I'm from New Zealand. They'll be like, say fish and chips. It's like, oh, come on.
I just
You
spent a lot
saying
of-
fish and chips doesn't sound as exaggerated as other things that you say, I think.
Like 7?
with the accent.
6?
Sex? There you go, that one.
Yay.
A lot of people ask me about non-monogamy, which I'm very happy to do if I'm trying to have sex with them. But when it's just like a conversation, it's like, I'm bored of this. Like,
Yeah. I've had
can't
this
have sex
conversation a
with you.
million times.
yeah. Tom Cashman's sister bailed me up for like half an hour talking to me about it. And it's like, I'm not even trying to, like, I don't want to. I kept being like, I kind
But
of
you were trying to smash.
Not her, no. I was trying to have sex with someone else at the same time.
Right.
Like, there's a fourth person at the table. Yeah. Me, Tom Cashman's sister, and a girl I was trying
Oh,
to start
okay.
Mhm.
with. Yeah. Which I did.
So you had sex with her?
I had sex with a woman recently.
Oh, wow, dude.
That makes-
I was at Clang former guest Alexei Toliopoulos' house the other night. And he had
Cool Brad.
he had
Damn.
but he had a magic 8-ball, and other former guest B Barbo Skirla asked her if I would get laid before the end of the year, and it said without a doubt.
Hey.
And it hasn't happened yet, but
4 seasons.
yeah, baby.
I had a fucking 8-ball last
We
night.
we
if you know
did
what I
that.
mean.
Sam and I were
Oh,
at
yeah.
like the supermarket the other day, and we kind of walked past the condoms or whatever. And I remembered that I'd run out of them, so I bought them as like a manifest
That's
destiny
good.
kind of thing.
You can have some of the condoms with my face on it.
Ugh.
Yeah, you know how I had those condoms with my face on it?
No.
Like, I got it for you
What?
up.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah, well, they're actually gifted to
He
me.
pelted the audience with them at
Yeah.
one point.
Yeah, at that point I'd probably gone outside.
Fair enough. But I like was with a lady recently, and I like was fishing for a condom, and I pulled out that like one of those, and
And she-
Oh,
Okay.
you could not look like the
well, she
biggest asshole.
it didn't
like
come
that.
up. Like she didn't see. I just
Yeah.
like quickly did it, but I forgot to put it in the bin. And the next day she was like, "Why is your face on the condom wrapper you left in my room?" And
I
had to
do
explain
have a
that.
question
Like,
about
would you like me to
condoms.
sign it? Yeah.
Does different brands feel different on your penis, or are they all the same size but depending on what the brand is? Because I bought some Durex recently for some coitus.
Yeah.
Not putting it on myself. But the guy said it felt really tight, and I was like, "Is there like a difference?"
What a bragger.
Yeah, this guy sounds like
All my
a
condoms,
real piece of work.
all my condoms are like 90s jeans, baby, baggy as shit.
Yeah. You gotta like get an elastic
Fucking
band and
listen to
like do
Limp
a couple
Bizkit,
around
just letting
the
it
top.
hang way off.
There are sizes within condoms, but as my
There's also
understanding-
different thicknesses.
Yeah, there's also that, but like the standard size for each brand is like the same, right? It's like I've never noticed a difference.
It's probably
at
just
all.
like roughly the white guy knob.
Like it's roughly right. Like, but it's I've like the only time I've ever noticed a condom feeling anything different at all was one time a girl bought small ones thinking they were thin ones. And she was like, and I was like, these are small. And I was like, I'm sure it's fine. My dick's not big. Like, it'll be fine. And it worked, but it was just like a little uncomfortable.
Ribbed ones are cool because it makes your penis seem like a car from like Mad Max. You're just like, yeah, I'm about to take you on the Fury Road.
Does it feel different inside?
No,
It
it's
doesn't really
ribbed.
have different inside, but like to touch, it's quite fun.
It's ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah.
Do they even still make them?
Oh,
I don't know,
yeah.
man. They're bullshit.
I thought that was a real like kind of.
I think they do. The
Sure,
like
yeah.
ultra thin ones.
They're
go-
very popular.
Yeah. Like, well, because no one likes condoms.
Yeah, they do. Feel
Yeah, I'd
better.
go for the featherlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I go for the extra thick to stop myself coming too quick.
You go for the
Yeah.
featherlight
It's not true,
diaphragm.
but I could.
Yeah.
I did try. I tried the extended pleasure ones when I was like 18.
What do you mean by extended pleasure?
They're
It's
called
got the
Ansel
numbing-
extended pleasure condoms. They have some
The-
sort of
the
chemical
numbing
or
agent.
it's got like a
Yeah,
numbing
it's a
thing.
desensitization
And
thing.
I found them like kind of useful, but my ex, who at the time was like, "Yeah, they make my pussy numb." Can
yeah,
you not?
shit,
Yeah,
like,
it
are you
would.
gonna fucking bust already?
Well, we all have whatever, man. Who here among us has not busted early?
I love busting.
I love busting ASAP.
Busting
Yeah.
makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Busting.
I mean, like, the bust is the best part of the sex, so you're just racing to get towards the bust.
I think the best part of the sex.
Oh dear.
I do feel like I have to try somehow plug in my sex story, my claim to fame story.
You can
Oh,
just start
right,
talking,
yeah.
like, you can just.
No, but
No,
because this is related to a famous story of yours on the podcast.
Oh my lord!
Where
me
you've
there?
No, where you've shat yourself
Oh, that is
during
true.
sex. Because I forgot about this story because we were at like Misfits or something after Everly one time, and former guest Lauren Bonner was like, "Yeah, there was like I remember because someone brought your
Top me
story
off,
up,
dog.
and then she was like, hey, yeah, at your like Traniversary party thing, like somebody who I'd like never met like." Bailed me up and then just told me this story about how they also shit themselves during sex, and it was Sam.
Hell yeah.
Boom, boom.
Which I love that like your introductory conversation to someone is like, yeah, I shit
It's always a
myself
good
during sex.
icebreaker, I think. Like, just like no shame, nothing.
That's good, yeah.
But yeah,
It's a
I
good
had a
tact.
heavy night of drinking the night before. So
Yeah,
when
Sam is a teetotaler because Sam used to be bad.
I used to be a bad drinker.
Cool.
That's sick.
But yeah, I shat all over his balls and and I literally dumped him. Like we broke up that morning. I was
Dumped
like, oh
him and
my
then
God.
dumped on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could say we're going different directions, and you got real shitty balls. He's like, you did that.
It's like,
It's like, no, I think you did it.
Like,
Yeah, it's
but
like
what
maybe-
an ultimate fuck you is to just break up with someone and then shit on them.
look, who did it isn't important right now. You can't unring that bell. It's done. We got to move on from here. And I don't like that you have shitty balls.
I'm not putting those things anywhere near my pussy.
Can we at least have breakup sex? Yeah, sure, but I got to shit on your balls again.
Oh, hell
See,
yes.
I remember I actually was like pissing my. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard before, and I know it was kind of cruel, but I could hear him dry retching in the shower, and I was like, "See, if you loved me, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
If you loved me, you'd be lapping it up.
yeah.
Oh my god, you are toxic.
Yeah,
If you love me, you'd want my shit on your balls.
Yeah. You just got dumped, all right?
Yeah, man, that's so sick. That's such a power move.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of it.
Oh, it was a great day.
Wanna
He's like, why'd you have to go around telling everyone? I was like, because I have to make it my story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to own it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
before he
If you're the
does.
Yeah.
shitter, you've
Yeah.
got to own
You
it.
Yeah.
got to get in there quick.
I've kind of lived my life by that creed.
Same.
Yeah. All right.
Shit on people during sex.
Hey,
Yeah.
welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All.
Podcast about friendship
And teen sex comedies.
and drills.
Mostly drills these days.
Mostly.
Primarily drills. What movie are we doing this week, Rose Piper?
We are doing. I didn't realize that we
I'm
were.
Jamie Kirk. That's not true. Swap it.
I'm Samantha Smalley.
I'm Rosie Piper.
Yep.
I'm Doug Benson. And this is Getting Dug with High.
I'm Mark Maron's cat.
I'm Boomer.
I'm Joe Rogan's spirit DMT god.
I'm Joe Rogan's float tank.
I'm Jared McGowan's boss.
Oh, Cameron Duggan.
I'm Chilsey.
Anthony Skinner.
Okay, this week we are doing The Faculty. The Faculty is a 1998 American science fiction teen horror film written by, he's been featured a lot lately, Kevin Williamson, directed by Robert Rodriguez and starring Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Sean Hatosi, Jordana Brewster, Clea Duvall, Laura Harris, Robert Patrick, Bebe Newworth, Piper Laurie, Famke Janssen, Usher Raymond, Salma Hayek, and Jon Stewart. What a cast!
Josh Hartnett used to be such a babe.
All right. Can I talk about this?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I've never got it.
Why?
I didn't
What?
get it at the time. Like, my
Why is he
sister was
hot?
obsessed by him.
No, I don't know either, but I remember having a big poster on my wall, and then we were like looking up Google images of him, and I was like, ugh.
He's squinting all the time.
He has...
It's kind of like when you go back and look at an ex, and you're like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Josh Hartnett.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so interesting to me
I think
because
he just
like,
got marketed as the guy.
but you know how we watched 40 Days and 40 Nights like a long time ago, and we were like, he's so fucking boring, he's not that hot. The Faculty, I thought, used him perfectly.
Yeah.
Like he was like because like he's drugged out, so he is squinty and he's like high and his hair's a bit shaggy. I thought he was quite hot in this movie.
Yeah,
His hair in this was the worst.
No, I
like the
don't know.
little
He made it
spiked
work.
out thing.
It worked for him.
Oh.
Like, he
But
seemed
like, but it
cool.
doesn't. But like, it doesn't look good. Like it worked for the character, but like the
But
hair
I think it
doesn't
worked
look
for
good.
him.
It's quite
know.
an interesting because I was thinking that this movie could have taken like a soft porn, like all the teachers are thirsty, and then they could be like actually thirsty for the students, but then it is a ripe topic in America, so maybe
It was a
not.
decidedly
Now we need to make
horny
this movie.
Yeah, it was pretty
It was
horny.
pretty horny.
I liked it.
I got real horny for the Jumanji lady.
I got
BB
real horny
Newworth.
thinking about the left-wing comedy of Jon Stewart. I was like, I just want this king to go the fuck off.
Yeah.
What a
I want him to
weird,
tell me about Palestine.
what a weird movie for him to turn up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Theresa
Also,
Long.
I kind of really expected him to be the one teacher that like didn't get it because he seemed like the nerd at the start with like.
It's great how
Trying
they
to figure
reveal
the
he
kids
was
out.
kind of just like alive at the end after he'd been stabbed in the eye.
Yeah.
Had most
The
of his hand cut
Wikipedia
off.
article for this in the plot summary, which I definitely read because I was like, I'm not paying full attention to this film. It was like, at the end, it was like, at the end, a lot of the characters are surprisingly alive.
Yeah. Well, like he fucking like I think BB Newworth's still alive at the end. He shoots her in the head. Like you
I
can't,
think, like,
you don't
What
come
about
back from that.
Famke
I think, like,
Janssen,
one
who had her
character
fucking
died.
head
Yeah.
cut off?
Yeah, yeah.
Also, Famke Janssen.
So hot.
Which one's
so
that?
hot. Like,
the teacher who wants to fuck Josh Hartnett.
Oh, yeah.
like, what happened to her career? She's a babe.
She's been in a bunch of. No,
I know she was in like the X-Men ones.
Yeah, so she
early
was
on.
huge because the X-Men stuff. Then she's been doing TV for a while. I'm pretty sure. Like she's
Right.
around. Because I used to, of course, I used to pound off in the comments when she was Xenia Onatopp in Goldeneye.
Oh, baby. Xenia Onatopp is like, you know?
Well, Xenia Onatopp is probably like one of the first like times I was exposed to like
Yeah.
real sexy
She's
stuff.
so sexy. Like,
Yeah.
she's so
'Cause,
intensely,
like, you know-
like overtly sexual.
Because like your parents just would let you watch James Bond, even though
Yeah.
every movie like
Yep.
he shags
I
like, the
loved-
hottest women. And,
James
like,
Bond was one of my favorite things when I was a kid because my parents let me kind of get away with it, and there was always at least one sex scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe that's why there's so many monsters these days. Is everyone grew up idolizing James Bond.
assault.
I need. To,
Did
I
you
wa-
say I loved Jaws?
Yeah, you know the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who
the
makes
guy
one,
with
not the
teeth.
shark.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy-
What did you think of the shark?
I love the show.
Did you guys play GoldenEye the game?
Yeah, I loved it.
It's like one of the most ubiquitous '90s things there are.
Yeah.
Isn't it like
Fucking
held
proximity.
up as like one of the best of all time for what
Yeah.
it was at the time?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, because it popularized
Yeah.
console shooters.
It's also famously unplayable now.
It's fun. Though.
It is so hard to play. Like
Yeah,
it is.
but you only because what you do is
They hadn't figured out how to make shooters yet.
yeah, you go to temple,
Yeah.
play proximity mines
Oof.
only.
Oof.
You have yourself a good time.
Maroon.
Proximity mines are so fun in that game.
Baby. I was a big sniper fan. Which
Do you know what I'd love though in like one of those like first-person shooter games like that or like Doom or whatever is like
Pissing
you
on
got
a snowball and
no,
throwing
you-
it at Stan's head.
I'd love to see like you got the shotgun right, and then you go down, and then up comes a drill.
And the gun weapon cycling through, and the last one's a drill.
Man.
Doesn't have a drill bit in it.
And you can't kill anyone with it. It's just you like left click to admire drill. It's like in that fucking Call of Duty game where you have to press F to pay respect to like your fallen comrades.
Press X to pay respect. There's a few. That's a funny category of thing is like context sensitive buttons, like funny button prompts.
Insane situations.
What's the Heavy Rain? There's one where it's like X to console.
It's like Miss Dead Son.
There's that other
Extra
90s
Morn.
game, and the guy like just says heaps of catchphrases.
Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem is what you're
I
talking
loved
about.
that game.
Shake it, baby.
Yeah.
Does not hold. Duke Nukem Forever fucking rules. Like, it's so bad.
Is Duke Nukem the one that came out like 5 years ago?
Yeah,
or whatever?
the vape
Yeah, the one that
well,
like didn't work.
I used to know this aspiring like game software dude or whatever, and he like years and years ago he'd like made a Doom 3 a day at golf. And it was like it was a Doom, but it was on a golf course, and like the monsters would like come out of the like sand traps and shit.
That rules.
And you could like one of the weapons was like a golf club you
that's
could beat
sick.
them to death with.
That was one of my favorite things to do in GTA Vice City. Was
Beat people up with golf clubs.
like go on a golf course rampage and start like chainsawing people on golf courses. There's
Well,
a
those are
mission
the
where
best
you do
people to
that as
kill,
well.
I reckon.
Yeah, well, it's fun to kill rich people in video games.
Yeah,
I'd beat up the hookers for their money.
Yeah, you're not
Probably
supposed
a
to do
common
that.
thing. Sorry.
that's very whorephobic, Sam.
I did it.
Wasn't the intention. I just wanted the money.
yeah.
You're justifying your sire.
It's like, I'm not being whorephobic. I'm just broke.
This is kind of like a Robin Hood situation, except
Yeah.
I'm stealing from the poor and giving to the also poor.
Oh man. Yeah, dude.
Did you correctly predict the two last two standing in the movie?
No.
I did.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Who did you think it would be?
Well, I didn't. We're obviously allowed to spoil it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize. Rewatching it, I remembered, but I didn't know it was going to be the blonde girl because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Oh, it's the main, villain. I think it's like the epilogue of this movie is so strange. Like, not only is it everyone's come back to life, but like for some reason, Elijah Wood is now dating Jordana Brewster, who's like is a bitch.
Yeah.
Is a bitch before she gets infected. Then it's not really even implied that Casey likes her at any point until that weird scene in the bus when she's like, "You want to bang me?" And he's like, "Yeah, fuck shit."
Do you like it's because losers are held up as these virtuous things in movies, but in real life, losers are just losers. Like they're just regular people who happen to be losers. So
Yeah,
They
totally.
they
they
wants to fuck the girl. Like
they made me root for him though, because like I'm such a sucker for those little things. Is like that scene at the start where he's just like got a nosebleed in the bathroom, and I'm like, oh. Damn, that poor kid.
Yeah, no, like I'm not, like I liked him. I thought he was likable. It's just insane that at the end they had to pair them together for no reason.
Yeah,
And the same
yeah.
with like Claire Duvall and Sean Hatosi,
I
even though
love
that's
Claire
kind
Duvall.
of laid in a lot
Yeah.
more.
Claire
But,
Duvall's
like-
very sexy.
You would think that. She's in a
agree.
Buffy episode. Damn, we're back.
We're back.
So
What?
many in a row that we've been doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
Very unprofessional.
What do we?
It's sick.
To couple with the drill app. What did we miss? I think I made some good points there.
Yeah, we were
Mate,
talking about Shelley Duvall. Do you want to get back onto it, Hastings?
Yeah, so Claire Duvall, Shelley Duvall's daughter?
No.
No.
All right, and we didn't get that on recording.
No.
All right, cool. All right, well, I guess that one's lost to the ages. Me noticing
we
two
also
people with
missed
the
out
same
on you.
last name.
We also missed out on you saying, Chinese so good.
Shining is so good.
So I reckon maybe part of why they put them together is redemption for her,
Yes.
because she's a bitch the whole time. And now that she's with him, they're like, oh, she's realized that you don't have to be with the head football player
yeah.
and you can be with
That's
the...
true.
But he dumps her ass like pretty early.
Did we lose Lord of the Rings chat?
Yeah, maybe.
We could probably just talk about Lord of the Rings. Like, we didn't say anything about it yet, but like, Elijah Wood.
Some dork wants to talk about Lord of the Rings.
I'd rather not.
You're from New Zealand.
And I haven't watched
You
it.
guys must be so sick of Lord of the Rings shit, right? Like,
Do you know how much
On
it
the behalf
costs
of
to
all
go
New
see the
Zealanders-
Hobbiton House? It's like $300 a person
my
Shit.
my brother
Where
and
is it?
stepdad did it.
in Waikato somewhere.
How, what, north,
New Zealand.
south?
North Island, halfway
Thank
down.
you.
New Zealand. It's in New
I
Zealand.
was struggling. with
Wait,
that,
it's not
thank
Middle Earth?
But they're
Yeah.
milking it, eh?
Well,
Totally milking
It's
it.
funny that you're from New Zealand and you're from the Shire,
Mhm.
but I'm the one who liked Lord of the Rings. No?
Yeah, I like that. It's quite good.
was
What's
kinda
the Shire got to do with
Because
it?
the Shire's
Shire
where
is
Hobbits
where they
Shire's
live.
like where half of the movie's set in a place called the Shire. Yeah.
I'm a bit uneducated
the
with
movie?
this.
Well, it's like a lot of the first one.
Yeah.
It's like half the first one and also a lot of The Hobbit as well.
It's the
Yeah, oh,
Shire.
the Hobbit, yeah.
And it's referred to throughout because it's the main character's home. So
Yeah.
he's constantly
Yeah.
going, I wish I was back
It's
in
the
the
Shire.
How long would it take to watch all 4 episodes, 4 movies?
There's more than there's 3 movies of The Lord of the Rings and 3 movies of The Hobbit.
There were 3 hobbits.
Yeah, it's
the
so far-
desolation of
That's crazy
Small.
because that's probably shorter than one Lord of the Rings book.
The Hobbit is about half the length of one Lord of the Rings book.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
we
they-
had to read that in like year 5 or 6 or something, like in class.
The Hobbit movies suck. I don't even want to talk about them. I don't even really like Lord of the Rings anymore, but I was obsessed with the books when I was a kid and The Hobbit as well. I read The Hobbit for the first time when I was like 8. It was like pretty wild. I love The Hobbit, love Lord of the Rings. Movies came out and I fucking loved them. And I was like, whoa, Legolas is sick. Fuck Gimli, whatever. It was so cool. Got real into it. But like, you guys didn't get Lord of the Rings. It was such a huge, like, I don't like it anymore, but you guys, it was such a huge cultural thing.
An old friend of mine who unfortunately passed away, but his birthday was on Boxing Day, and every year we would go to the
I went to the premiere
screening.
every day on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Because my mum's a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so we'd go together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, you're a fat nerd. I assume you'd love Lord of the Rings. Like you look like Peter Jackson. Like you.
Oh my god, I see it!
That's meaner than what I said.
Why? He's like successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not
great.
successful looking.
Well, he is though.
If you,
I think Peter
I was
Jackson.
always-
I think Peter Jackson's lost all that weight.
Jamie,
man.
if I said you
Yeah,
look
he
like you
did.
make as much
But
money
I-
as Peter Jackson, that would be a different.
That's what I
number.
heard.
Yeah, well, all this linen.
Yeah.
That's a rich man.
Yeah.
And the boat
Um,
shoes. You could own a boat and wear those shoes on the boat.
I've watched the movies. They're
Yeah.
fine. I like the Two Towers a lot.
Two Towers is the best bookend movie. I feel.
I don't. Yeah, I hate the book. I mean, I've read up to Tom Bombadil and then I quit, which is like is so
Yeah, that's The
common.
Hobbit, but yeah.
No,
No, it's Lord of the Rings. Sorry, you are right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
No.
like the one bit that they cut out.
I'm
right,
That's
thinking
the
of
bit that
movies.
everyone stops
It's
at.
it's a good bit. It's good if you get it into it. I'm thinking of the Bear Man from The Hobbit, but don't worry about
I was thinking about the Shire, except it's Frodo, Merry, Pippin, and Sam going to the beach and beating up ethnic people.
it. I'm really surprised, like because I feel like you look like if Gimli got too into Buffy. Like
Who's Gimli?
the dwarf,
Right.
the big beard fat.
I tower over you though.
Orlando Bloom is in Lord of the Rings. It's probably like the only highlight for me.
I don't think he's that hot.
Oh, he's pretty good looking.
I think Viggo Mortensen's hotter. Like
Yeah.
Aragorn.
He got a
Is
lot
he
of
the
people
guy?
going.
Is he the Viking-looking dude?
No, he's like long
That'd
black,
be
longish
Gimli,
black
right?
hair, quite handsome, rugged looking.
He's the sword man.
He's
Yeah.
the sword man. In the games, he's like
A big sword man.
he's the middle class guy. He's like the average one. There's like the short range, long range, and he's the
Whi-
middle range.
which
guy.
one of the hobbits do you root first?
Okay.
And you can't say Frodo.
Who's the one that's not? Who's okay? So Dominic Monaghan is
Yep.
one of them.
Yeah, he's Merry.
Yeah.
So who's Pippin?
Pippin
I
is
don't remember
another
his name.
actor's name. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Damn, we have to look this up now.
I think I'll go Pippin.
I'd probably go Merry. Definitely not Samwise, unfortunately.
Why?
Unfortunately.
Samwise is a cool loyal friend.
I don't know what they
Samwise.
look like.
They look like hobbits. They're all 4 foot tall.
Yeah, but you're referencing people. I can't just say anyone.
You
Yeah.
know Dominic Monaghan. He was in Lost.
Yeah, he's Charlie from.
He's
Lost.
Charlie in Lost.
Yeah.
He's in a few things. He kind of looks like Aaron Paul a little bit.
I don't think so.
In Lost, I think he does, is what I'm thinking.
He looks a bit. Yeah, I mean, if it's not Frodo, I'm doing the whatever Dominic Monaghan is, I guess.
Elijah Wood's sick, though. In Wilfred, he's really good.
Yeah, he's funny, man.
Sin City, we mentioned. I think I wasn't caught on recording, but Sin
Yeah.
City, he's like fantastic as like a villain. The Ice Storm.
Flipper.
Yeah.
He's great in Flipper.
Man, Wilfred's really funny. Have you guys watched that?
Yeah,
recently?
Wilfred
Wilfred's sick.
Isn't
like,
isn't the like original one here though like kind of better?
They're both good. Like they're actually both worth watching just independently. And
Right.
Like, yeah. They're both good in their own way. Kind of like The Office or whatever.
Who is Elijah Wood in the Australian one?
I can't remember his name. It's like an Australian actor.
Yeah, some dude.
Yeah, but Wilfred's the same actor in both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they always
He
make
created the show.
like sort of American versions of non-American shows, and they often are bad. Like
Yeah.
they'll do like they did like
Yep.
American IT Crowd. They did a pilot of. And,
Betweeners.
yeah.
They did
Kath and Kim.
the sketch show, which was literally they just recreated all the sketches but with American actors. And I think Paul F. Tompkins was one of the cast.
But,
But also
Lee Pace was in it.
Lee Mack.
No, Lee Mack, sorry.
Lee Mack was...
Who's Lee Pace? Oh, he's the guy from Pushing Daisies, yeah.
You're going to say Hale and Pace.
I know them.
Yeah.
I'm British.
Yeah.
I'm British, dog.
House of Cards is based on a British parliamentary drama.
Oh,
It sounds
about a
boring.
prime minister originally.
Sounds boring
Yeah.
as fuck. House
Yeah.
of Cards sucks.
House of Cards does kind of suck.
House of Cards is prestige people TV for morons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it tricks you into things. West Wing has a bit of the same thing. West Wing's trash, but people think it's high class because it's about politics.
No, because West Wing is written well, whereas like
West Wing's written very well,
whereas
but it's
House of Cards is so overwrought.
it's written well, but it's not a prestige drama because you know how like Sopranos and The Wire is like quite grounded and like whatever. The West Wing's cartoon characters, like
Yeah.
it's very, but it's good dialogue.
yeah, but CJ though,
She's so good. She deserved that Emmy so fucking much.
I don't know who CJ is. That the tall
Alison
woman.
Janney, yeah,
she's great in everything.
She's
though.
like she won a bunch of Emmys for it and stuff. She's so good. Like yeah. She kind of becomes the main character in like season
she's
5.
great in I, Tonya.
I haven't seen that. Apparently it's sick.
Yeah, rules.
I
Man,
do love Alison Janney.
have you got Disney Plus yet?
Yeah, I started watching The Mandalorian.
I gotta watch The
You better believe
Mandalorian.
I start watching.
Do you like Baby Yoda?
Who does?
I haven't watched the
Yeah.
show. I've only seen the memes.
If you... I haven't seen
I
any
love
of it
Baby
either,
Yoda.
but like... Oh, it's so cute.
It's
You've
so
gotta-
cute.
You've got to love it. Like,
If you don't like it, you're basically the name. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but you're basically just like a contrarian prick for the sake.
I know exactly
Yeah,
what you're talking
totally.
about.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen cake tutorials how to make a little baby Yoda.
Already.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You should make some novelty cakes for us.
Now,
And by novelty, I mean weed.
And by us, I mean me.
I also mean me and Charlie McCann.
and by should I mean do it now. Here's my weed.
Yeah, by should I mean this is a threat.
Oh, dear.
Oh, man. Do you want some wine, Sam, by the way?
Sam doesn't drink.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Do you want a penis, Rose? Do
No.
I'd love
And I've
one.
got one already.
you want to have sex with a woman, Jamie? Ah, I did it again.
As a fat nerd, no, I don't ever want to have sex with a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Buffy's on Stan now, dog.
Yeah, I know.
gonna
It's
increase
it's
my-
basically like an email to me being like, it's time to watch Buffy again.
What are you going to do without my Stan account when you go back to New Zealand?
I like the idea that you treat watching Buffy as a calling the same way that Buffy treats
Would it work?
being the Slayer as a calling.
No, but I am living off the stand. But I've
So-
got no Wi-Fi. But I'm going to get rid of my Netflix this week. I
Ooh.
have to cut my mum out.
That's a big call.
I know.
I'm so surprised that there's not a porn site called Nutflix.
I'm gonna look it up right
There
now.
must be.
I bet there is.
There must be. Somebody must have bought that domain name.
I'm gonna buy it right now because you can fucking domain hijack that thing.
Only
Yeah.
one of us can Google it. Right.
I thought you were racing to register it at the
Looks
same
like
time as me. Nutflix.com.
While they're Googling away, Sam, do you have any highlights from us recording the pod
No,
over
it's
the
a porn
years?
site.
Damn.
It exists. It's a porn site. The front page of porn.
And it does look kind of like...
Damn, it's got an app.
Yeah, it says sick as fuck is the app. This rules.
You got to join. Ugh.
Highlights.
Browser. Continue.
Yeah, highlights, lowlights.
Lowlights.
I guess I'm just on a porn site now.
Always highlights.
Well, that was something that I like wondered if I had to consider because like we've had to get a new housemate in for when Sam goes, and I wondered if I should tell them, oh, like by the way, like maybe once a week, an awful man will come over here and say awful things.
Oh yeah.
But do you remember when I first met Hastings and I was just like so like intrigued more than anything? I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just like need to know how he works. Like it wasn't like anything. negative
Everybody
Hastings.
is like.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
here I am now, still on this porn site.
People find me intriguing. You want to make some weed cookies for me, honey?
All right. Under the Arab category, it's a cartoon of a woman wrapped in an American flag. So
He did ask why I rejected him on Tinder one time.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like not that he rejected me; it's that we matched, and then you messaged me, and then didn't reply. So like,
I
whatever.
did not. I
Oh my
swiped
God, I
left
can
on you.
Oh
Wasn't
my,
it on-
you're about to be proven very
Oh,
wrong.
yes. Look it up,
You think
baby.
I don't keep these goddamn receipts?
I'm ready for it.
Oh baby.
This is the only aspect Hastings is organized in his life, busting.
You
Just-
deleted your Tinder. We
Yeah.
matched on Tinder. It wasn't on. You swiped left on
Ah,
Bumble.
Looks like maybe you
No,
didn't.
no. I'm not. I'm not
like maybe
crazy
Sam
here.
was right.
Sam, don't gaslight me on this. We matched on Tinder, and then you were rude to me about it.
I was never rude.
Yeah, but we did match on Tinder. Don't deny it.
The movie.
I think it was so you could go, haha, I matched with you on Tinder.
I could have probably said that.
I've quite recently started hanging out with 2 different people who I had once matched with on Tinder, messaged, they did not respond, and now we're mates.
Yeah.
And they were just like, fuck, did I? Sorry about that.
I don't think I'm mates with anyone that I've met on Tinder.
So I thought you were going to just end that sentence after anyone. I
Aww.
don't think I am.
It's not it's kind of for the best.
My probably like my best friend I met on Tinder. Sorry, Jamie. My equal best friend I met on Tinder. Yeah, my other best mate.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking
met
about.
some-
We met on Tinder.
I was just thinking about doing more movie chat, but instead of like talking about the movie, you just go the movie, and then you move on to other stuff like drills and sex workers. Andrew
Well,
Hastings smoking weed.
What do you think about the
The guy
cop
does
out?
drugs. You must like that, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I actually do want to talk about the drugs.
Well, it is kind of like a STD the way that it's spread.
What
Yeah.
but I also kind of liked that is that like drugs were the answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
But
it was
they
kind
had
of like
to-
some propaganda for
But
like
they also had to make it
pro-drug.
like they also had to in the end be like, what is it? And he's like caffeine. Like,
What?
it
Yeah.
had to
What?
be
What
lame.
drug is it? Like what?
I think
It's
it's
a
just
homemade
some
drug.
like crushed up.
Sure.
And it
But
all
what's it supposed to be? Like what's it?
looks like a meth lab.
Because
well, it did look a bit
the
like
wiki
meth
said
lab,
the
but,
Wikipedia page said it was like ecstasy-esque, but like
It
looking
seems
at it,
more
it looked like
weed-esque.
meth to me. I
Yeah,
thought it was
but
like
the
meth.
side effects are weed. Like they just start laughing.
yeah,
Yeah, but there's also like because they
the
said
side
they're
effect.
tweaking. They're like tweaky.
Yeah,
like,
the side effects seem to be like they were doing nangs.
yeah, a bit of
or
that
something.
too. Yeah, it's like it seems like that person had never done drugs before. Whoever wrote that, like,
I'm pretty sure that most Hollywood screenwriters do a lot of drugs.
that's a
But
great
is
point.
that a thing to put your drugs in like a Bic pen?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Really?
I've heard of it.
I hadn't seen
Just
that
like
before
for
this.
like Coke or whatever. Like I think it's like an old thing before whatever.
Do you think it would be cool to have tentacles? I'm thinking of getting one.
Yeah.
I've
alright.
got one, baby.
Let's. I got a few. I got
Not me.
I'm trying to reverse it into a suction.
What's like? I'm gonna need more details. What's the scenario?
Well, I don't know. You have like a.
Where's
like,
the tentacle?
Is it instead of arms?
No, like it's inside you, but you can let it come out.
Comes out like my
maybe
chest?
like
It could come
like
out
a little
anywhere.
hole opens in.
I was thinking like near my like armpit, like I use it as a third arm occasionally.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm like, for instance, like how
Would you
cool
jerk off with the
well,
tentacle?
how cool would this be if I was like, hey Rose,
Would
do
you
you
stick
want
the tentacle in your pussy?
You say, hey Rose, do you want a beer? And you say, yeah, I'd love one.
And then your
I
tentacle can
I say,
just go
don't
to the
get up, and
fridge.
I just put my arm up like this. The tentacle comes out, grabs it, wraps around. Could probably like use the pressure to pop the lid as well.
Yeah, I would definitely want a tentacle.
It'd be pretty sick, right?
Yeah.
But like, I wonder like how because it would be pretty creepy to feel, like because it'd be like slimy.
It must
right?
be slimy. Yeah, it would be.
I once had sex with a girl with a tentacle dildo.
Yeah, I know that,
yeah.
but like
That's
that's
a
not the
thing.
same
I
as
remember that.
having a tentacle.
Did
No,
you
I'm
say
saying like
that's me?
it wasn't as gross as I
No,
thought
I
it
said
would be.
that's
It
the
was
thing.
actually
Oh, right.
it was actually like
And how do you know?
it was actually like
They
alright.
sell alien eggs too that hatch inside you.
Yeah, I've seen
It's
those.
like
I've seen
this
those,
whole
yeah.
like trend.
That's weird.
I think
I
it's
don't
I think
have
it's
them.
pretty. I don't think it's a lot of people getting into
I
it.
promise.
Yeah.
Can't
did
do mime jokes on the pod, right?
I did the Pinocchio nose for.
Yeah.
I have an extensive collection, but I haven't gone that far.
Yeah.
that is fun when Sam comes home from shopping and I got this and this.
Yeah, dude. Maybe I should get some more sex toys.
Maybe we
What
should
happened to
just
the
get
Enjoy?
a tentacle.
I wonder if you can do like secondhand selling.
You can't.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, you very much could.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
I just feel like they wouldn't be used in the same way
Yeah.
or by the same gender person.
Oh man,
Or
whatever.
the same genitals, I thought you were going to say.
Oh, well, that too, yeah.
Well, if it's once out of your hands, it's not really your concern what happens to them, is what I tell people when I buy their secondhand sex toys. That's my spiel that I give.
Friend of the pod, she hasn't been on, but like Talia Joan was...
I've never met this woman. I've never heard of this.
Talia?
Oh, Talia.
Like
fuck,
comedy
sorry,
Talia.
I was thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never met.
No.
Yes, I do know Talia. Sorry, my bad.
Comedy Talia. She was saying that like her grandma, like she walked in, because like, have you met like her...
Oh yeah, I've
her-
met the whole family.
Yeah, her
met
mum,
her mum.
her mum and her grandma come and like run
So
the
I'm
gigs.
like, I don't know this person. Like, I've met a mum.
But they're both real cool, and but like her grandma's old, and she said she like walked into the bathroom or whatever, and her grandma was using her like wand, like sex toy wand, like as like a back massager, because that's what she thought it was.
Fuck.
Man, hell yeah.
And Talia had to be like, I put that on my pussy.
Oh, that is great.
I just wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
I would have just let it ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably
and then sterilize it next time, before I put it on my pussy again. Yeah.
You don't want
You'll
that
sterilize it. Poor
old
grandma.
person back skin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need that up against my labes.
When I'm trying to get off, I need something up against my labes. I don't want my grandma touching it.
Oh, my grandma up against my lady garden.
What do you think about the sort of shitty trope of like kill the head zombie?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a very good Deus Ex Machina in the sense that it undoes all the damage. You can create as much damage. Like, if you can have something that reverses everything happening in a movie, that means there's less stakes. Like, you can act as if it's high stakes, but you can fuck everything up as bad as you want, and then just reverse it, so it doesn't actually matter.
I mean, the best.
It's kind of cheap, I think. I think it's kind of a cheap way to do
that's what I
stuff.
thought. Like, it's a bit of a cop out.
I mean, like one of the main scenes, like the whole movie it's so funny because like the cast is great. The writer is like written Scream and stuff. The director is Robert Rodriguez, who's done amazing things.
What? I know the name. What else is?
A little movie called Sin City.
Oh, right.
Or the Once Upon a Time, like Desperado, the Spy Kids franchise.
Really? That's
Spy Kids
quite
franchise is like pretty acclaimed, right?
The first one.
That's
at
quite
least.
a weird selection of things.
Yeah.
Different genres.
Well, he's like
Yeah.
super famous for like being able to like make movies on a tiny budget that look incredible. Also did like Planet Terror and the when in the Quentin Tarantino like that double
he did.
feature thing.
Wasn't his Machete? Or Planet Terror?
I think he might have done Machete
Oh,
as
Machete's
well.
great.
Yeah.
But he
I know
definitely-
Planet Terror is the double thing with Death Proof, right?
Yeah, but yeah, he directed Planet Terror.
Yeah.
But like the movie kind of sucks. Like this movie, like it's like the cast is great. Like bits of it are funny. Like
I think it sucked, but it like in terms of like some of the stuff we've watched, like I didn't hate.
Yeah, I thought
watching
it was like
this.
a fun movie. I like the genre. I kind of like B horror. Like I like.
when I say it sucks, I kind of just mean that it was like dumb as shit. But
no,
like
it was dumb as
Yeah.
shit, but it's like, man,
But when I remember when I watched it when it came out, and I actually digged it, loved it.
Yeah.
And then watching it now, I still don't hate it, but
yeah. But also, like, 15-year-olds are dumb as shit. Like, it's,
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
don't know what a fucking
Well,
movie
didn't this
is.
movie come out when you would have been 8 or something?
I would have been 12.
Sleepover movies was such a thing.
Yeah, this
like,
is- we-
Yeah,
you
that's
watch
true.
it years later. Like, it's not.
like
That's
I
true.
definitely watched it on the TV, like it wasn't at the movies.
Yeah.
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 I imagine you watched it at a sleepover or something.
I didn't have
And
a
you
lot
were,
of
like, with your
sleepovers as
friends.
girls.
Oh my! I didn't, for once, I wasn't trying to pick
It really sounded like you
I
were
know.
with your friends.
I just
weren't
shouldn't. I just
You
shouldn't.
watch a bit of the
I just
faculty,
shouldn't talk
practice
about
French
sleepovers.
kissing.
It's the-
Yeah.
I think I was the only girl growing up that was like vibing horror movies. So we'd always like watch chick flicks and like P.S. I Love You and crap like that.
Yeah.
Man, that's what I call horror movies. Chick flicks.
Don't take me again, I bet.
Come on, dude. If I
man.
have to watch Love Actually one more fucking
Oh,
time.
Love Actually is an exception. That's
I-
the hands down
I-
the best Christmas movie.
Oh,
I
it's so
quite
good.
like rom-coms.
Yeah. I've fucking watched
Yeah.
heaps of
I
rom-coms.
love rom-coms.
That's what a bunch of these movies
Yeah,
are.
I love
Fucking rom-coms.
rom-coms. I hate Love Actually.
I like Love Actually.
I love Love
Oh,
Actually.
I Love Actually. Yeah.
I quite like Love Actually.
I think it's...
I love
I
Actually.
acknowledge whatever problematic, whatever about it, but who cares? I like it.
Oh, I don't care about that at all.
Yeah.
But
I like Hugh Grant in it a lot.
I love Hugh Grant.
Mm.
Hugh Grant's great.
That storyline's great. She's good. What happened to
She's
her?
so sexy. I
She's
love her.
well, she was a soap op. She was in EastEnders, which is a British soap.
Right.
She was Tiffany, the chesty barmaid.
Ooh.
I think
Yeah.
she got written out. She was killed by a car. But like, if you like her, Hastings, what you got to do is look up like old Maxim magazines because she used to pose for a lot of British men.
Really?
Like, magazines.
Ooh.
Why
So
did
you
you
can-
just direct that at him? I might do that.
Well, because he said that he liked her, and I just remember
Oh, right.
pounding one off in the comments to her.
What's the actress's name?
Oh fuck, I
It
forget.
starts with M.
It's Tiffany from EastEnders. Maureen McCormick, maybe.
Yeah,
or
I
something
think
like
that's
that.
it. Something like that.
But
Tiffany
you could just
from.
probably Google Hugh Grant side hustle.
Well,
on
I'm just
Love Actually.
googling Tiffany from EastEnders. Tiffany Butcher.
What's his main squeeze on it?
Sorry, it was his main squeeze. It
Oh, I mean,
started
I
as a
suppose
bit of
it
a
should be
side.
probably the side hustle. The main squeeze should be
Tiffany
being the Prime
EastEnders
Minister.
Maxim.
He's too horny.
Yeah,
This
she-
isn't the
What
right
a character.
Tiffany.
He was born to play it.
Hold on. Hugh
What?
Grant.
Just look up Love Actually
No, I'm
on Wikipedia.
I'm on
So,
Tiffany
Rosie,
now.
will you kind of do that scene, when the guy like runs, well, just anyone really, I'd love for someone to run to the airport and just be like, don't leave. I love you.
For you?
For you.
I
Yeah,
won't be
love
making the trip, Sam. I'm sorry to break it to you. Not after how
Martine
you
McCutcheon is her name.
Not after how you
wa-
treated me on
she
Tinder.
was directing that question at me.
Nah, I'm not doing it. Martine McKitchen.
Ross
Martin
after
McCutcheon.
Rachel and on Friends.
Martine McCutcheon.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to answer it. It'll give
I know you're going to Melbourne.
It'll
It's
give
okay.
it'll give the surprise away.
Maxim.
Maybe FHM as well.
So I've Googled.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're sprechen my Deutsch.
Check this out.
Yeah, my man.
Whoop.
Come on, dudes.
Very, very nice.
She can,
Very
she
good-looking.
can hew my Grant any day.
She could hew my grunt.
Chicken love my actually.
Check this out.
She can daily
Oh,
Man,
man.
I love Lad magazine, like headlines and
man.
stuff. So this is an FHM, and it's because she was known like in England as Tiffany from EastEnders, who like pulled pints. It says, "Bar babe, Tiffany makes ours a large one," which is beer and penis.
England
Yeah.
is such a trash country.
Or
I love it.
This was the one, Maxim. I
Get
used
your
to,
baps
Here we
out
go.
for
'Cause I-
FHM.
Like
I-
lads
like-
mags in England.
I used to have this.
Oh, that
like, this was in like,
fucking latex, baby.
this was like in an ad in a PC gaming magazine that I have, and I used to beat off to this all the time.
Jesus.
Yeah, in
The
my-
lads mags are like much worse in the UK, right? With like nuts and zoo and all
they
that
are.
shit.
It's
Like,
like
If
more
by,
of-
if by worse
like
you
more-
mean much better.
It's like more of a thing culturally, right?
well,
it's-
like the thing with like because I used to be
well, they're like the page 3 girl.
well, I used to be
Yeah.
quite the connoisseur. So let me tell you about this. Because I had like both issues. Because like I'd get the English ones occasionally.
Yeah.
Because like the
You get them imported.
well, no, the newsagent imported them.
All right.
After I begged them to so like there was one in particular because I used to take the FHMs to school when I was in like year 7 or year 8 because the English FHMs don't blur out nipples or airbrush them away, like it's just naked girls, whereas like Australia would put like little stars on them.
I don't
or,
think
like,
I don't think they did nipples. It was like bikinis and lingerie and stuff.
yeah, but
Depends
even
on
the
the
ones where
magazine.
so there's one particular one. There's an issue with Carmen Electra where the photo is exactly the same, but in Australia it's like side on. They've airbrushed away the nipple, so it just looks like a side thing. But in England, you can see the whole thing, and yeah, they ruled.
respect, my brother.
I miss FHM.
The point of that story was just I like to see nipples.
I mean, who don't?
Yeah,
Jamie, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Fair.
Man, shout out to Dave Navarro for Boston one.
I think I
Carmen.
might have an old FHM still at home somewhere.
I had like a subscription.
Yeah, I definitely because I would like people would like bring their like Australian FHMs to school,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, "Oh, that's a nice child's FHM you've got there."
Well, I
I've
had,
got the
like-
real shit.
Yeah, I had like the Nikki Webster issue and shit. Like,
Damn, wasn't she like 14?
No, she
Nah.
turned 18 when we were teenagers.
Because
yeah.
we used to. Oh man,
She's older than
She's older than us, yeah.
She's older than us at least. She might.
She might be like your age. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
Because the one that had like a lot of hot English soap stars with their like full titty out with nipples, that was called Loaded. But Loaded was like the writing was garbage. Like
Right.
FHM could sometimes write like interesting articles, but this was like, all right, bollocks, let's see some titties. It was like hard to read.
Hey,
I've been published in Zoo magazine.
You have.
as a, oh, that's right, I remember that. So yeah, a few comics got that.
I was the first one.
Hey, I
just
just
because I
real-
knew the guy whose idea it was.
Real quick, serious question: how long do you have to not drink for before you exercise? Before you do like physical stuff? And they just asked me if I want to go bouldering. Should I
It's like
stop?
45 minutes.
Just like I should stop drinking, right? Like I stop
Yeah.
for a few hours.
Is there actually like a thing, like you have to stop drinking before a certain
It
time?
just seems
This is the
like
one I was
you
talking
shouldn't
about.
Do physical things drunk.
Oh right, there's no. Yeah,
Like, it's
they're,
pretty dangerous.
like they're big boobies,
know.
but you'd see the nipple, right? Wouldn't you?
That's the issue I was talking about.
Yeah, if that was real, you'd see a nipple there.
Is this
Yeah.
before like Wi-Fi and porn? That
Yeah.
FHMs were the big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had this issue too.
I would have been like 15.
This is sick. I'm just Googling FH. This podcast has got so much better now that we just Google stuff and turn it into that.
Yeah, I like it. It'd be good if we could have like some sort of slideshow so the audience could see what we were
Rachel from
Googling
S Club
as we were
7.
talking.
Maroon.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, is Charlie
Tell
from
me.
High Five? Did she ever do FHM?
Well, I was High Five.
More
didn't exist
than
in
one
England.
night here,
I'm
Sam and I have just danced around the apartment to S
Club
Club 7,
7.
and it's so
Yes.
joyous.
Oh my god. We'll have to
Rachel
do a
from S
couple more
Club 7
sessions.
used to
Oh,
always
please,
win.
one more before you go at
S
least.
Club. Ain't no party like an S Club party.
Because once a year,
Don't
FHM
stop,
would do
never
their
give up.
100 sexiest women of the year.
Yes, of course.
Which was
Which Maxim also did.
best
The
shit in
Maxim
the world.
100.
All right, I
Little
just
back to
googled
you.
Charlie High Five bikini. If anyone's interested in that, do you
Oh,
remember
I
High
remember
Five?
that.
Did
yeah.
you know that? I
Not
think
bad.
when I was at intermediate, like I was a very, like the floodgates are well and truly open now. But I remember having a discussion with these girls at school, and they were like
What is
talking about
intermediate mean?
fingering.
Is this like...
It's like middle school, so
Right.
I think it's you
We
got to
don't-
Year
start
9 or
high
whatever.
school.
Yeah, we don't have...
Ish.
And these girls were like talking about masturbating and how many fingers they used. And one girl was like, I used 1 finger, and another girl was like 2. And I, not knowing what masturbation was, I was like, I used 5. And they were like, holy shit.
Fisted myself.
Fuck.
Hell yeah.
It's really important not to just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the proper technique and then curl.
I was always a rubber rather than a fingerer.
Yeah, that's pretty normal, I think.
Well, that means you probably figured out how to do it before they did, like how to properly do
yeah.
it. Because if they're just fingering themselves, like
I mean, I think it's
It-
different for everyone. I don't, you know.
I think the first thing.
yeah,
that
but
I
like
properly
clitoral
did
stimulation will
Typically,
get you.
I believe.
When
Yeah.
Mary Met Sally, I think there was a couple of sex scenes in that.
Yeah.
And then the fake orgasm in the diner.
I think I'm done with sex. I don't think.
You're done with sex?
I think I'm done with it.
This is the Pinkerton era,
You don't
Andrew.
Tired of sex. I love that song.
We're done, by the way. Like, we can go.
Man, all right.
We're free from this prison.
Yeah. Do you have any final
Did you have
thoughts,
fun,
Sam?
I had so much fun. This is my last
Pod.
pod being
Aw.
around.
You can.
Yeah.
I actually have great news for you, Sam. You can subscribe to it on iTunes, and you can listen to it every single week. And I think the
on
listeners should
Spotify
for
recommend that
free.
their friends do that as well.
iTunes
Or you
doesn't
can do it.
exist anymore,
Subscribe
but
for free
thanks
on iTunes.
for that.
Spotify.
Yeah, but
Spotify,
like,
yeah.
however, sorry, you can listen to this remotely. Is the point I'm trying to make. Listen to it on whatever you listen to podcasts.
Of
on.
course she's going to keep listening.
I'm trying to tell listeners, tell your friends to do the same.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
All right. Well,
You don't have to be a guest or in the apartment to listen to the fucking podcast.
Come
I don't think Rose realizes what I'm trying to do here.
come to Powerbomb Comedy and Comedy at Papagetti's.
Yes.
Yes.
We're all good at Twitter. You can find us on there.
Yeah.
Sam, do you have anything you want to plug? You're going to Amsterdam?
Yeah.
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 You're selling your
Hook us
mattress
up.
on
The great-
Marketplace.
yeah.
When does this go
This
live?
won't come
This
out for a
sounds like
while.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll be out.
This might be in the new year.
Yeah, maybe.
Would it?
Probably.
Maybe.
Dun.
What's Steph? I mean, not Steph. Fuck. Too many vinos. Sam, you know how we end the episodes, right?
To the next step.
Oh, to the next step.
To the next step.
Sam, we're going to miss you very much.
We are.